I focus a lot of my practice in Southeast Asia, and the one thing that I've noticed is that different countries have different approaches to mediation, and this directly affects the outcome. I do a lot of mediation work in Singapore, and the Singapore International Mediation Center, the SIMC, has clear rules, a number of very well-trained mediators, and a manageable caseload. So when parties come to the SIMC for mediation, the process tends to be effective. Parties sit across the table. There's a little cooling off period where the initial angst of going to litigation is cut down because you're now actually sitting and trying to negotiate and talk things through. And sometimes a skilled mediator can actually help a party to understand the strengths and the relative weaknesses of their case. And at the end of a good mediation process, where parties have not only had a chance to sit down and talk to each other, but have also had a chance to assess the strengths and the weaknesses of the case, I've often seen the appetite for litigation, expensive, time-consuming litigation, come down. And I think in Singapore, we've managed this process quite effectively. There are other jurisdictions, though, when this doesn't work. I've got a decent-sized practice in the Philippines, and nobody in Manila believes that mediation actually helps you resolve a dispute. And that's because the process which has been put into place in the Philippines is very different from that in Singapore. The mediators in the Philippines are very well-meaning, but A, they have a very large caseload, and B, they don't often have a structure behind them. So when parties start doing mediation in the Philippines, the mediation goes nowhere quickly. And very often, all too often, I see the mediator just gives up because they don't have the time, the resources, or the energy to handle their caseload. So a few sessions into the mediation, the mediator has given up and has largely left the parties to try and negotiate the process out. And it just doesn't work. To the point in which in-house counsel and lawyers in the Philippines today believe that mediation is just a waste of time and energy and effort, and they'd rather go into litigation. So to me, coming back to what John said, the process starts through a skilled mediator with a manageable caseload and clear rules where parties can sit down and actually talk to each other and try and resolve their disputes. But the best mediators I've seen are the ones that help parties try and understand the strengths and the weaknesses of their case, because you can cut a litigation short by understanding where you stand.